Sai Ram everyone, and welcome back to episode 5 of Journey with Sai. Today we're joined with a very special guest, Uncle Sai. Welcome, Uncle.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Yeah.
Uncle, can you tell us more about yourself? Who is this Uncle Sai we all know?
Okay. In the worldly life, I'm an IT consultant, and I've been working for large companies like ANZ Bank, Telstra, and consulting firms, and that's where I am.
Interesting. And how did you come to know about Swami?
Coming to know about Swami, I think it's probably around my birth, when my dad, a couple of years before I was born, went to see Swami in Chennai. In Chennai, there's a house, it's a Venkatamuni, his house. Swami comes and stays there. And he went and saw the first time Swami there. And then slowly he became his devotee. And a couple of years later, I was born, and that's how I got my name, Sai Prasad, actually. Yeah. So it started just before I was born. Yeah. That's my starting journey.
Okay, start from birth, and now we are here after so many years.
Correct.
How does it feel to be in the organization after such a long time?
Me and my brother actually started engaging when we were in teens in Sai organization, because Swami used to come to Chennai every year, literally, for a couple of times, and we used to go and see him in Chennai, and we joined Sevadal after that. And when I finished my uni, I joined Sevadal in Delhi. And when I actually came to Australia in '89, I landed in September in the morning and went to my house. And about 12 o'clock, one of my roommate's friends, he came to see us. And when we introduced ourselves, he saw my name as Sai. And he said, "Are you a Sai devotee?" I said, "Yes." At 4 o'clock, there's a bhajan here nearby. And I was actually near the bhajan center. It's walking distance.
Oh,
So
wow.
on the same day, I went to the bhajans in the Melbourne Center. And that's my starting point in the Melbourne Center. So that's when I started in '89. And at that time, it was just 4 or 5 years old, the center is. And that was in Prime.
So you've been coming since Pren, and I mean, what not say luck, but all Swami's doing to be able to come for the first bhajan the first
That's
day.
right. On the day I landed, he made sure that I'm there in that. Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen Melbourne Centre grow from the Pran Centre until today. How's your experience been in the Melbourne Centre?
Yeah, there are quite a few experiences, right? And Swami used to talk about Melbourne Centre, right? And when a lot of our troops go in there, a few years, I used to be a lady called Mary, and she used to take a few of the Australian group to Perth. And the robe currently what Melbourne Centre has was actually given by Swami for Melbourne Centre to marry. And that's the robe that is there till today in the Melbourne Centre, what you see in the shrine.
Oh, such a beautiful story, Uncle. I never realized that the robe you have was
actually given by Swami. So it's not a robe which we bought and put there. So that's the significance of Melbourne Centre. And it's also significant because when someone lands in Melbourne, looking for a Swami Centre, you look for a Melbourne Centre, that's the first one that comes in. That's why. And a lot of the other centres grew out of it. As people spread across, they started their own centres.
It's amazing just to see everyone grow in their own ways as well.
That's right.
And we always see you helping out. You did say that you do a tech role as well for your work, and we do see you helping out in all the tech scenes in Melbourne Centre. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you help the centre as well?
To help the centre? Yeah, okay.
Oh, you're saying about the centre.
Put it this way. I have a 2% policy, right? It's called your 2%, right? So what I expect is essentially for everyone to give their 2% of whatever they have. It could be time, it could be the skill, it could be the money or knowledge, whatever it is. So you give 2% of your at least So I give me 2% to my technology or to giving my knowledge or helping others for education and teaching them or donating, whatever it is. So that's the way I walk through, and I would like to see a lot of the youth taking up 2%. Is a lot more affordable. It can give you knowledge. If you don't have the money or the time, you can do some of the work in your own spiritual way. Yeah,
Amazing,
that's
Uncle.
it.
And given that you've been, in Swami's fold for such a long time, are there any of Swami's practices that you practice on a daily basis?
Yeah, I do. Um, since for a very long time, actually, since even right from um, in my teens, right? We typically do. We try to do whatever Swami has said. Try to follow, and some of the few things are we do the prayers. I do pray even today. I do the prayer, and I do sit for meditation, whether I get it or not. It is I will sit there to try to do meditate. Right? Sit there, and also do spiritual reading. Typically, I read Swami's books, and I prefer to read stories than lectures. Some of them stories will actually trigger some thoughts and how you can do, and you can get inspired by others what they're doing as well, and how they are following his teachings. Um, so there are the few things which I do, and come to the bhajan every week, bhajan center, so that keeps me going, and also try to go as frequently as possible to Patti to keep the battery charged.
Definitely, Uncle. It's amazing that you're able to do so much. This, like you said, this never-ending amount of silent literature out there,
Yeah.
be it stories and lectures, and yeah, some of us definitely prefer stories over the others. Speaking for myself,
Yes.
at least.
It is true. Sometimes the lectures probably go beyond the thought process or may not inspire that much, but seeing someone doing it in certain way or hearing the stories does give inspiration. And you do find the different ways people basically follow the Swami's teachings. It may not be the same, his teaching is the same, but the way you approach it could be different. The way you deliver it is different.
Beautifully said, Uncle. Beautifully said. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, Uncle, you have had plenty of experiences with Sai, if I understand correctly. Do you have any special memories with Swami?
Yes, I do have a few experiences. There are a couple of significant ones. When I was in my teens, I did tell you my dad did go to Prashanti around that time when I was about 13, 14. And that's the first time he's actually going to Prashanti Nilayam to see Swami. And the day he left, right, and that night, when we were about to go to bed, my mom, we usually, before you go to bed, you see the deities' photos on the wall and then go to bed, do a little prayer and go to bed. And when my mom saw the thing, it was all dusty. And she was wondering why suddenly they're all dusty. So she put her finger in there to check, and it was Vibhuti on that day. And then, okay, it looks Vibhuti, and we didn't do anything, so we slept. The next day when we took, it actually became thicker and covered all the photos clearly, except where my mother put her finger in. And the rest. And it was pouring, it became thicker and pouring. And my dad took about a week to come back. And it's actually the neighbors who start coming in as well, because Swami Vibhuti coming in, it becomes, and we had only one bedroom house, so it becomes like a temple slowly in a way. So and that is the Swami showing is that my dad has gone, his presence at home. And when my dad came back, then because we couldn't keep the Vibhuti continue to flow, and because the number of people coming visiting the home, he did his puja and wiped it clean, and it stopped after that. So that is a very significant proof that Swami is present in your life, in a family. And some people do ask, I know some of my friends did ask, is Swami is God? And if this is not the proof, what is?
It's so true,
Right.
Uncle. So true. He just works in mysterious ways sometimes.
That's true.
Can't tell.
And the other incident is essentially when I came here, we don't think anything will happen to the family. We'll go back and see them. So, and after I came 89, my dad actually passed away in 91. I was about to go in a few months, but he passed away. And actually, the week he passed away, I didn't know. So my family didn't want to tell me. But when I went to Melbourne Centre, that's the only time two of the ladies asked one after the other, Sai, how come you are happy? It didn't strike you at the time. Why were the questions coming from? But that week, when I talked to my brother, he tells me my dad passed away literally almost around the time. So Swami in a way is indicating something is happening. And so in a couple of weeks, I went to India and basically to see my mom. And then I went straight to Pati. I was literally shaken at the time because I wasn't expecting my dad to pass away. He was 66. When I went to Pati, I was in the first line. You know, they sit there in the lines, and I was in the first line. And I was in meditation. I went into meditation. And usually Swami comes from at the other end, on the ladies' end, and he walks all the way and goes onto the men's side and goes around. I was in deep meditation. I didn't have a clue that Swami has come. I didn't even see Swami. I was still in meditation. But suddenly, I felt something touching my feet. So I was sitting in folded legs and opened my eyes. Swami's legs were under my legs. He was actually standing in front of me, and his actual robe was falling on my feet. And that's how he woke me up and said, I'm there. And that's an amazing incident. And he was so close, I couldn't even bend how to touch his Swanovska like that, sitting. So, and that's, so he does acknowledge what has been trying to tell me right from Melbourne until I went to Puttaparthi. So there's a communication happening which hard to understand sometimes when I'm here, yeah, but you'll realize it subsequently.
Yeah, he definitely does things without you realizing it.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you really kind of link it all together.
Correct.
So it's just beautiful.
He gives indications.
But we are not in his level to see it.
It's what he says is you need to tune in like a radio. You need to tune into his to understand what he's saying, and we don't tune in all the time. Yeah, most of the time, brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Uncle, I understand they have two beautiful kids.
Yes.
How is it like, growing up with Swami, learning his teachings, and being able to impart them to your two kids?
So to start with, my wife and her family doesn't believe in God or something, right? So I'm the only one. So the only thing what I do is I leave everything to Swami, but consistently what I did the one is right when they were babies, take them to Melbourne Centre, to Sai Centre. So they grew up in the Sai Centre, going every week, and Swami will do the rest, right? And they had the Balavikas. They went through the Balavikas. Margaret was teaching them, and they participate in all the dramas and plays, and also play around with same age group, and they grow up together, and they learn from each other. And being in a comfortable zone, they do talk about Swami and the stories, and they do the drawings and everything. It does help, but end of the day, it is Swami how he wants to influence. Like my daughter and my son both are different. They're all different. My son is a lot more involved in Sai organization now, and now he's an SSC teacher himself. Right? My daughter just go and do sing bhajans once in a while, and she goes to temple. But she's got a spiritual angle, but she's not very involved in that. Yeah, but you can do only what you can do. You can't force anything. It's up to Swami, and you can give them the opportunity when they were young. And that's exactly what I did, and nothing more than that.
really the true definition of just leaving it up to him and letting him, just giving complete surrender, Uncle. It's beautiful. And having two kids, in the youth right now, do you have any advice that you'd like to share to our other youth in the center as well?
There are probably a couple of things I'll tell the youth, or I tell my kids as well. First thing is, you need to love yourself and be self-reliant. When you say love yourself, you need to take care of your body, mind, and spirit. And you need to be self-reliant, because if you can't love yourself and you're not self-reliant, you need help. You can't help, you can't give to the community, you can't do any service, anything actually. You are living on others' help. So first thing, try to become self-reliant and love yourself, so that you take care of your body. As Swami said, it's given to you. When I say yourself, it's not yourself, the body, it's your self. That is the Atma, what Swami calls. So you take care of your body, because the body was given to yourself, and the mind and the spirit. And that is important. And being self-reliant, you can give others. So you don't have to worry about yourself. You've got enough things. Either it is studies, or even if you're in school, if you all finish your studies, you are good at what you're doing, you can help others to study. And which I have done myself. When I was in the uni, I did help others and do things as well. And the other one is, once you have these, and come back to my 2%, your 2%, you give at least your 2% to the society, to the world. It could be animals, humans, plants, doesn't matter what it is. And that 2% could be just your time, go, like we do, planting trees, and that helps as well. Or go to hospitals, or go to old age homes, whatever it is, anything. So whichever 2% it is, you can contribute your 2%. So that's what I take as a bare minimum we could do, following Swami's teachings. As helping, you are living in a society, you need to give back to the society. And that's where these are the two things which essentially are, if I want to say something to the youth, yeah.
Amazingly said, Uncle. I think I can definitely learn a lot from there as well. So, Uncle, I understand you work in the IT industry. Is there any one of Swami's teachings that you apply to your profession on a daily basis?
Yes, I do. For example, you need to maintain your integrity. When you have even in the IT profession, when you're delivering things, you do make some commitments. And that means you're living by truth, and that's why integrity comes in. When you commit to something, you know that's realistic, and you're committing to it, and you can actually deliver it from to the clients. And I have quit jobs because of that as well, when I can't stand the integrity, just because I want to keep that integrity. And the other one is, because you got skills, you help others as well. It doesn't matter where they are from, your company or other company, or it's you see them as a human being trying to do something for the organization, and they are trying to do their job. If they have any challenges, you simply go and help them. As simple as that. And in one of the, as if you give an incident, one of the girls who was from a vendor, and it couldn't. The same girl who was vendor couldn't do certain thing, and was sitting and crying in the office, some corner somewhere. And someone told me, and I went and helped her out. She wasn't expecting it, because I'm the customer. 20 years later, she still remembered that. When she saw me somewhere in the city, she came all the way and talked to me on it and reminded me. So it's got an impact on people. So Swami's teachings, whichever way you do and implement it or deliver it, it has got impact on the other person. And they try to do the same as well.
That's so true. Swami really does preach about human values and taking care of others. So Really wonderfully put, Uncle. Uncle, has there been one thing that Swami has said or maybe experienced that has changed you, or changed the way you approach life?
Yes, when I was a kid, was brought up in typical in India. We got all the rituals, a lot of temples and rituals, and so this when we have festivals, we do a lot of things. And what Swami has driven into me, one thing he drove into me is spirituality, and that made me see through the rituals why they were introduced. So rituals are not there to mechanically follow. There's a reason behind every ritual. And he tells you a story actually, why some people follow rituals. He says there is a family where the dad, before he starts the prayer, he catches hold of the cat in the house and puts a basket over it. So it stays inside the basket, and he finishes puja, and then he releases the cat. And over years, after a few years, dad passed away and the son takes over. He starts doing the puja, and before he starts the puja, he goes and looks for a cat and brings it in and puts the basket in. And he continues. And this is a story actually told with Swami. And what he says is, this guy doesn't understand why his dad did it. His dad did it because when he was doing the puja, the cat was disturbing him. So he wanted to control it until he finishes puja. But the son took it as a ritual, right? And goes and catches a cat and puts it in the basket and controls it. So there's a difference. So you need to understand why we are doing things, right? And what the reason behind it, and follow that. There is a principle for each one of them. Right? Even Swami says arati. You know, arati is essentially your, if you, it's a ego, you burn your ego, right? And you give it to Swami. And what is left is nothing. There's not even ash there, right? So it will become pure soul. If you leave your ego, everything else becomes divine. That's the core of the problem, most of the problems.
So beautifully put, Uncle. Yeah. I really love the story.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories on this, and so the core of it is go with spirituality, right? And understand the reasons behind rituals.
Really beautifully put, Uncle. So, Uncle, we're coming to Swami's 100th birthday now. How is it like to have known Swami for 100 years?
100th birthday is by itself is not a big difference for me. It's more about because he announced that he will be in his body for 96 years. Right? And we all know he left at about 84 when was. So now it's 4 years after his 96th year. And so in my mind, all right, like Shirdi Sai said, he will be back again after 8 years. It's my interpretation of that is he will be back after 96th year in a different body. So I'm hoping he'll be born and I'll be able to see him before I leave my body. That's my expectation. That's how I see going forward. Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to think about it, Uncle. Yeah. Definitely beautiful. Uncle, do you have a favorite bhajan of yours that maybe you'd like to share? Just a few lines to our audience.
I'm not a bhajan singer. I'm not good at singing, so I don't sing bhajans in the bhajan center as well, in the Melbourne center as well. But I can sing my own way, you like it or not. Yeah. I will sing the Murali Krishna thing here.
Beautiful.
Murali Krishna, Mukunda Krishna, Mohana Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Gopi Krishna, Gopala Krishna, Govardhana Giridhari Krishna. I missed that line. It's been a while since. Krishna Krishna. See it. Murali Krishna, Mukunda Krishna, Mohana Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Gopi Krishna, Gopala Krishna, Govardhana Dara Krishna Krishna. I think Sai Ram, that's enough.
Thank you, Uncle, for the wonderful bhajan. And thank you for joining us in our episode today. And thank you, audience, for joining us with episode 5 of Journey with Sai.
Sai Ram.